Hello, beloved friends. It's Ric Beattie. I'm the senior minister at Unity of Royal Oak in Royal Oak, Michigan. And it is a delight for me and an honor to share with you this brief teaching and a meditation for our midweek experience. I want to start by sharing with you today's Daily Word, and I do so with permission of Unity, the publishers of Daily Word. And the theme, the key word, is divine order. It's one of the 2 or 3 most popular subjects for daily words over the years. Another one of them is let go, let God. That's also one that's frequently referred to. Divine order, the affirmation is, I relax and trust divine order. Sometimes my imagination runs wild if I let myself worry about how a situation will turn out. Do you ever do that? You're fussing with how's it going to turn out? The reality is you probably don't know. And my experience is that very often I don't know the best solution. But that's taken me a long while to get to that place, because I like to think that I know how it should work out. According to King Ric here, I have a plan and a purpose and a process, and by goodness, it should get on board. Not. So we continue. In fact, the more invested I am in an outcome, the more I may be troubled by thoughts of developments I do not want. And there's a concern here, because what we really give our energy to, what we give our time, attention, and thoughts to, not just casually but repeatedly, we bring about, right? That's the basics of our of the law of attraction, or we call it the law of mind action. That the idea that thoughts held in mind, thoughts and feelings, I would add, held in mind, produced after their kind, we bring them about, and we tend to what we resist persists. So anyway. The more invested I am in an outcome, the more I may be troubled by thoughts of developments I do not want. It's just a thought. You're having a thought about what might happen. It's not happened yet. So relax. When I catch myself ruminating, and I call it circular thinking, going over and over and over and over and over something, I take it as a cue to stop and affirm the process of divine order. When I catch myself in so much spiritual practice is to be able and willing to pay attention to what you're thinking about, what you're feeling, to notice them. One of the great gifts for me of this pandemic time is that I've had a whole lot of time to think about what I think about, to write, to reflect, to journal, to sharpen my own use of spiritual tools. They're no good if you don't use them. Otherwise, it's just a wonderful idea that you have in your mind. Well, that great idea that you have in your mind, that great thought, and $2 or $3 will get you coffee sometimes at a coffee shop. And some it won't pay half the bill. So, we can get caught in our thinking. Anyway, it says, when I catch myself ruminating, I take it as a cue to stop and affirm the process of divine order. And for me, that means to call upon the order that is one of the 12 powers, one of the 12 helpers, if you will, one of the 12 aspects of the Christ, or the I am consciousness that is in each of us. I call upon and affirm divine order. And I activate that divine order in my life. I call upon it. Divine order. Order is the great harmonizing and balancing power of the universe. Isn't it exciting to think about that you have that power available to you? It's not outside of you that you have to get somebody to give you, to share with you. It's part of you. Who knew, right? We just call upon it and it's there. Oh, maybe not instantaneously. But one of the things that I've learned in my life is that what I need shows up every time, right on time. And if it didn't show up, then I probably didn't need it the way I thought I did. I remind myself of the many times I could not see a solution to a problem, only to have it resolve in a surprising way. It still continues. Sometimes long after I had stopped thinking about whatever the challenge was. And then suddenly it's resolved. It's happened to me personally. It's happened to me in the ministries that I've led or been part of. It happens on an ongoing basis. I recall times when I received unexpected assistance, a windfall, or an opportunity I could not have anticipated. I've got a couple of those going on right now. I'll tell you about them later. Remembering these instances helps me remain positive about whatever I may be facing now. Affirming divine order is a bold declaration of my belief that God is in and through all things. Divine order is a blessing in my life. And the Bible verse for today is from Matthew chapter 6, verse 10. And it says this, "Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." Trust this day. Trust God. Trust the God of your understanding, the God of your being. And learning to trust God is dependent, in my opinion, or at least for me it has been, on my developing a relationship with that presence and that power. An ongoing day-to-day relationship. Now, God is not a person, although we create God and we anthropomorphize God. We think of God as a person, but God is a state of being, a state of consciousness, if you will. And I love what Eckhart Tolle said long ago. He said in his book, A New Earth, he wrote, "We are consciousness becoming conscious of itself." Christ in you awakening as you. Christ in you with these 12 aspects of consciousness we call 12 powers. Always awakening, engaging every moment of every day. So to develop a relationship with God, with this presence and power that we call God, that's not its name. It has many names and no name. Call it life, call it wisdom, call it divine intelligence, call it mind. In Unity, we often refer to God as mind. Mind is the source of all, first cause. And sometimes we talk about God as source with a capital S, because God is the source of all the good, of everything that flows into the world and into my life. So one of the reasons why I meditate is to enhance this relationship with the divine presence. If you've ever dated, and I was dating last year for the first time in a long time, hope to be again, but that's another story. I noticed that you have to invest time and effort into the relationship for it to grow. It isn't just about, somebody taking me to dinner or me taking somebody to dinner. It's about being open and willing to plumb the depths and being honest, vulnerable, all those things. So it's no different in a relationship with the divine presence, except there's no one sitting across from you. But there is a presence and a power in each of us. And meditation is our opportunity to spend a little bit of time with that presence and that power, and to just rest there, to be in the presence of God. So my meditation practice is fairly simple. And meditation at its most basic is just the breath, to bring your full attention to the breath. That's a powerful meditation that doesn't take any skill or tools of any kind. You just can bring yourself to your breath. And I've noticed that if I'm a little stressed or I'm feeling anxious, if I'll take 3 or 4 really deep breaths and just bring my attention to my breath, it helps a tremendous amount relieve my anxiety. I'm affirming divine order today and every day, because there is the great balancing and harmonizing force at work in my life and in your life. I promise you. I promise you. So we begin this time of meditation. I'm going to take 3 deep breaths. And first of all, actually, let's wait a minute. First, we're going to start by just scanning our bodies for any sense of tension, stress, anxiety. During this pandemic, most of us have been caught a little bit at times by stress, tension, and anxiety. Even the process of excessive amounts of Zoom calls, and I make a ton of them. Sometimes it leads me to exhaustion. So this is a time to just scan your body and your emotions, if you will. I'm going to get comfortable in my chair, and I'm going to invite you to do it. I'll lock my chair so I'm not rocking, making you seasick. Let's take a moment to start with your feet. Just start right at the bottoms of your feet. Scan your body. Imagine that you're like a gamma ray scanner. You can start at your feet and scan your way up. And when you notice some tension in a muscle group, just let your attention, your focus be there a moment, and invite that tension to drain away, to return to the nothingness from whence it comes. So start with your bottoms of your feet. Imagine you could take a breath through your feet. Just breathe in. Amazing. And now wiggle your toes and wiggle your ankles, your feet, flex them. Continue your scan up your body. Notice your shins, your ankles and your shins and your calves, all that whole system of muscles and bones. Continuing up now, if there's any tension there, just notice it drain away. Invite it to, and it will. And now up to your knees. Flex them if you'd like. Think of them as the great levers. Continuing on up now, the big muscles of the thighs and buttocks that carry us around, that propel us, most of us. Just notice if there's any tension there. If you notice, it's like a little catch, it's like a little tense. Just allow that muscle group to relax. Give yourself the gift of relaxation, of presence. Give yourself the gift of self-love. For me, meditation is about self-love and self-care. It's preemptive and preventative. And it's also useful when I'm in the thick of it, to just calm myself and quiet myself, to stop that ruminating mind that Daily Word was talking about. Continuing now up around your abdominal area, your waist area, great girdle of muscles that circles the body. Notice if there's any tension anywhere there, any stress. And just invite it to relax, to drain away, to return to the nothing. Moving up now, up the front of your body, up your abdomen, noticing your solar plexus. Bless your digestive organs. Bless the whole system that marvelously extracts nutrition from the food we eat and fluids from what we drink, and circulates that to feed and water the body, if you will, to provide for our needs. This great system of circulation. Now notice the small of your back. Many people get some tension in their back, particularly as we get older from working, the way we stand, the way we might bend over in our work. Allow yourself to relax completely as you can. Just even if you do nothing more than to do this part of this meditation and relax, you will have given yourself a great gift. So moving now up the back, the small of the back, mid-back, up between your shoulder blades. Think about the great shoulders that you have that allow your arms to be useful. And shoulders aren't exactly a joint, but they connect to the body in an interesting way. They are made of muscle and bone. They're like straps. My chiropractor explains them to me because I've had some challenges in the past. So just let all of that be limber and loose, and allow your attention now to go down to your shoulder tops of your shoulders, and down the upper arms and your elbows and the lower arm, and now your wrists and fingers. Flex them all. Flex them and allow them to relax. In fact, invite them to. I think of it this way: my muscles are just waiting for me to give them an invitation to relax, and I do so. Absolutely. And now allow your tour of your body to continue up from the back of you to the front of you to your heart. Bless your heart. Works all the time. Never has to think of. We don't think about it. It works and works and works and works. And the heart and the lungs work together, the cardiopulmonary system, to pump life-giving oxygen throughout the body. Our blood cells carry oxygen to our whole body. Amazing. Amazing the way we're made. And now up the small of your back, up the nape of your neck, and up into your hairline. Just allow your neck and shoulders to relax. It's a place where I often carry tension. And just now, as I noticed it, I could feel it drain away. As I just bring my attention there. This is relaxation time. This is time to become still, to become centered. That's the purpose of meditation, to pause. All the noise, all the drama, all the trauma, all the stuff you need to do, have to do, want to do, should do, all of it, it will wait for a few minutes. I sacrificed much to that restlessness in me. No. The things that I have to get done, I'll get done today. And the rest will wait till morning. Allow yourself now to move up the front of your chest, from your heart. Notice the throat. As we speak our word, we speak power into our lives, into the lives of other people. Look at yourself. The next time you're sitting in a mirror, look at yourself, and with all the courage you can muster, say to yourself, I love you. I love you. And hear it from me. I love you. I may not even know you. But I love the way God shows up as you, in you, through you. And I love the fact that you're here connected with me in this moment of meditation and learning. And now notice your lips. You can wiggle them, your chin, your cheeks, nose, your eyes. Shut them, blink them, wrinkle your forehead, raise your eyebrows. Let your face, just give it some love. If you're like me, it's been around a while. I've gotten used to it. I love it. Now your ears. I used to be able to wiggle them enough that you could see, but not anymore. But I can still wiggle them. Wiggle your ears. And now allow your attention to move up to the crown of your head, the very top of your head. And as I've often invited you to do, imagine that it's like the aperture of a camera, the lens in a camera, the crown chakra. Imagine it wide open. Wide open to send love out of your body, to send this energy pattern of love. Wide open to receive a download from Spirit. That's another reason that I meditate. One is to self-love and relax, to spend time with God, to build my relationship. But also when I'm working on something, I often will meditate and invite a download of information. It's powerful to do that, to be open to it, to trust and know that there is wisdom available in you, and understanding. Wisdom and understanding and imagination. Use these tools and be open to the movement of Spirit, because I believe that God is always trying to speak to us. And it's seldom in words. We get really hung up. I know earlier in my life I was very hung up about, well, God's Word was the Bible. The Bible is humanity's words about their relationship with the divine. And it's cultural. It's changes. I mean, It's actually a library of books, and it's a wonderful place. I read the Bible every day. But it doesn't take the place of my ongoing relationship with Spirit. Now, how can I tell when it's really God and not just Rick talking to Rick? God's voice in me is always for the highest and best for everyone concerned. It's always loving. Sometimes even when it's pointing out to me that I need to make a U-turn, it's still in a loving way. And the more that I get used to interacting with the divine presence over the last 40 years, I can tell. I also know when it's my ego, because it's usually self-serving. It's usually for my benefit, not anybody else's. That's not why we're here. That's why some people think we're here, is to just get everything they can get and then move on. But I don't think that that's what the master teacher taught us and called us to do back then and calls us to do now. And it's interesting to me that we're in this journey right now of Easter time, of getting ready for Easter, this journey of Lent. I hope that you're enjoying the booklet that Unity put out this year, Release and Renew. It's been so powerful for me, and I'm just going to touch on the two themes for today and tomorrow. Today's theme for Wednesday, March 17th is I release any feelings of hostility. Think about this pandemic. What have you been mad at? Maybe yourself, maybe the circumstances, the conditions, maybe an official, a government person, mad because you couldn't get the vaccine when you wanted it to. What if we let go of that? Because holding on, and the author of this one is Reverend Rick Schumacher. It says, when we become hostile, we often experience a knot in our stomach and our blood pressure may rise. Have you ever had that happen? How often we've described a hostile person as being so angry they're red-faced, right? They got a red face, or their blood is boiling. Here's the key, and thank you, Reverend Schumacher. Hostility harms us, not the person or situation with which we disagree. Our energy of holding that disagreement, of holding that hostility, that in itself is punishment. Long ago, someone said, and I can't remember who, it's kind of like drinking poison hoping the other person dies. No, it affects us. And the theme for tomorrow, because it's in pairs, right? A release and a renew. So for tomorrow, the practice is I renew my practice of non-resistance. I don't resist. I don't resist the onward flow of life. Doesn't mean I don't work sometimes to change things. Doesn't mean that I'm not, I don't have a plan for my life. Goals, I have those. But I always yield to the greater plan. I always yield to the movement of God in my life. So let's take just a few minutes and spend some time listening to a piece of music that Kim Lange, our creative director, composed for me to use in meditation. And it's called, I always forget, 6 Degrees of Meditation. So I'm going to turn it up a little. I'm going to invite you to become still, to allow yourself to rest in the presence of God, to rest in the awareness. You can do that with your eyes open or closed. Makes no difference. But rest now. We're going to take 3 deep breaths together. We do that. We breathe in deeply, hold it a moment, and then sigh it out. So let's take the first breath in. Hold it. Sigh it out. Another deep breath in. Hold it. Sigh it out. I love that sigh it out part because it lets us physically feel the release. I let go of any tension in my body. I breathe in deeply. Hold it. And sigh it out. And now follow your next breath inward to the place that you consider to be the center of your being, to that place where the divine presence in you is alive and well. And let us be in communion with that presence and power that we call God. And if any noise should startle you or disturb your meditation, I invite you to just consider that that noise is just a reminder to turn within. So if something you hear there, where you are or where I am, distracts you, or if your mind wanders off, and mine often does, bring it gently back to your breath. Notice the pattern of your breath and follow the next breath inward. And now I invite you to call to mind Any place in your life that could use prayer. Perhaps someone you know has made their transition. Several people around us have done that recently. Or perhaps someone you know is dealing with a health challenge, dealing with a course of treatment or a diagnosis. Let us hold for that person divine order, the great balancing and harmonizing power of the universe, an aspect of Christ consciousness, as I shared earlier. Let's know for them that unexpected good can come. Let's hold that place for ourselves, for others dear to us. And now I invite you to send a wave of blessing out from you. Just imagine that you can shine a light like a great lighthouse, shining a love light out into the universe. Just let it just touch everything that it touches. Let it bless everything that it shines upon. The sun is not discriminatory. It shines on everybody. Doesn't matter who you are, how you look, how big you are, how small you are, what country, what color, who you love, how you love. Doesn't care. Imagine that we can love at that level. That's what the master teacher, Jesus, said, love one another as I've loved you, without any conditions. Let go of hostility. Renew your willingness to rise above judgments, to rise above concern. And now let us bless all of those people who are working diligently to care for us, the first responders, the second responders, the last responders. That's the funeral directors. Everyone involved, teachers, teaching, finding new ways to move forward. Everyone involved in moving forward in a new way. It is my hope and my prayer that we've learned some things during this last year. And we are slowly emerging from it. You can feel it. It's kind of in the air, like spring, like March. Marching forth, new life marching forth. Do it in a safe way. Bless everyone involved. Politicians, civic leaders, government leaders, business leaders, our neighbors. Think of the one who is a challenge for you. Reverend Sandy Scott used to call those emery board people. They're here to take our rough edges off. Just bless them all. Withhold your blessing from no one. You and I are here to heal the world. We begin with ourselves. That's the only place we can start, is with us, with healing the world. My friends, if I can support you in some way as you embrace life, as you travel this journey, get in touch with me. Email's the best way right now. I'm in my office sporadically, but send an email to me. It's Ric, without a K, R-I-C, at unityofroyaloak.org. We can visit our website at unityofroyaloak.org. You'll find there the schedule of the various things we have going on. We'll keep you posted as we begin to think about coming back to our building more. It'll be a phased-in approach. We're working on the plans now. We appreciate those people who contribute financially and contribute their energy, their love energy, contribute their energy by joining in our services. Sundays at 10 a.m. we stream to 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time now. We stream to both YouTube and to our Facebook channel, the same places that we post these meditations. We leave everything up there as archives, so there are meditations come back. Last week licensed Unity teacher, one of them, Sharon Lewis, did an amazing meditation on gratitude, and I've listened to it several times because the meditations become timeless. And remember that the light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you, and the presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, God is. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever we are, God is. All is well. Make it an amazing day for yourself or night, and know that you are loved and cared for. Namaste.